To her surprise, Sakura stumbles upon a sacred circle, its presence unmistakable. Her instincts kick in, and she's sure it was summoned by the very person she's been tracking. Takaru stands at the center, unleashing the sacred circle's power and wiping out every monster in a single, overwhelming blast. Just as he wraps things up, Sakura shouts his name, but he reacts fast. He closes the gate and makes a swift escape. She gives chase, boosting her speed with lightning magic, but even that isn't enough to catch up to him. Takaru's priority is to keep his identity hidden, so he moves fast, really fast. But even then, he's holding back. If he wanted, he could go faster. The problem is, Kasanji's body isn't built to handle that kind of strain just yet. His physical boost has limits. He knows he's got to train harder, improve his physical form, but he also doesn't want to overdo it and end up looking like a titan. That's definitely not the vibe he's going for. A few minutes into the chase, he switches tactics. With a quick burst of aerial boost, he vanishes from sight, so fast that Sakura doesn't even realize he's already gone. Sakura decides to stop chasing him, for now. Once Takaru puts enough distance between himself and the school, he finally relaxes and lets his guard down. Sure, his bag's still back at school, but he's not too worried about that. There's no way classes are resuming after what just happened. He'll just grab it tomorrow. As his thoughts drift back to Sakura, he starts piecing things together. She's clearly a hunter, but not quite what he imagined. He always pictured hunters as bold, armored knights or elite adventurers from some epic tale. But Sakura? She's something entirely different. When he finally gets home, his mother pulls him into a tight hug, overwhelmed with relief. She'd heard about the monster attack at his school and had been frantic with worry. "I've been calling you non-stop," she says, her voice still shaky. Takaru blinks, confused for a moment, then realizes he has no idea where his phone is. He must have dropped it somewhere during all the chaos. Then his mother casually mentions, "Oh, by the way, a friend of yours brought your phone back." They're waiting in the living room. Thinking it's Sura, Takaru heads in, relaxed, until he sees who's actually sitting there. It's Sakura. He freezes. A cold sweat runs down his back. Sakura looks up and smiles. "Thanks for earlier," she says calmly. In that instant, it clicks. She's the hunter who was chasing him. Sakura doesn't waste any time. She gets straight to the point. She wants answers about the recent gate break incidents. As she starts listing off everything he's been involved in, Takaru struggles to keep a calm face, forcing a fake smile while trying not to panic. He knows there's no use pretending anymore. Running won't help. But with his mom just a room away, he can't speak freely. She might misunderstand everything. Trying to salvage the situation, he awkwardly offers, "Let's talk in my room." Yeah, that definitely doesn't make things any less awkward. Takaru's mom, always trying to be thoughtful, offers to go buy them some cake. But by the time they're both in his room, the cake's the last thing on their minds. Takaru fumbles around, trying to find some black tea, anything to ease the tension. But despite his efforts, the awkward silence still lingers like a weight in the air. Neither of them really knows how to start. Not interested in pleasantries, Sakura cuts right to the chase. She locks eyes with Takaru and demands, "Who are you? Really?" Her tone leaves no room for games. She warns him flat out. If he lies or refuses to cooperate, she won't hesitate to restrain him herself. Takaru, meanwhile, can't help but mentally compare Sakura to a Pomeranian. Fierce, demanding, and unexpectedly intense for her size. He stays silent, choosing his words carefully. Still, a stray thought crosses his mind. Despite her sharp edge, there's something almost endearing about her, like a wild boar with a touch of beauty, tiptoeing around as if she's walking on eggshells. Takaru wonders if she'll actually believe him if he tells her the truth, that he's a hero summoned from another world. Or will she just think he's completely making it up? Before he can decide, Sakura loses patience. Annoyed by his silence, she suddenly lunges forward to restrain him. Caught off guard, Takaru quickly raises his hands in defense, blurting out, "Wait, I'm not a bad guy." He even throws out an excuse about amnesia to prove he's innocent. When Sakura asks how he can use advanced magic and stay so calm around monsters, he shrugs it off, saying it's just something he can do, for no particular reason. Even as he hears himself say it, he knows she's not buying it. Still pressing him against the wall, Sakura's expression hardens. She points out seriously that with his power, he could easily be a top-tier hunter. Takaru makes it clear he's not chasing fame, social status, or any special privileges. All he wants is a peaceful life. Nothing more, nothing less. Sakura pauses for a moment, then steps back, loosening her grip. She tells him that as long as he doesn't use his powers to hurt anyone, the Hunter Association won't bother him. Takaru is a bit stunned. He can't believe Sakura is just letting him off the hook. Reflecting on how he handled the gate breaks, she realizes that all he did was protect the people around him. Suddenly, Sakura changes her tone and apologizes for chasing him down and being so rough in his own home. Feeling guilty, Takaru quickly apologizes too, for being so suspicious of her. Even though Sakura acknowledges his strength, she can't help but tease him about his phone password, just 4 zeros. Who even does that? Once she cracked the code, everything clicked, making it easier for her to track him down. Before leaving, she admits she became a hunter to protect people and ensure everyone can live in peace. She promises to protect his peaceful life no matter what. Hearing that, Takaru can't help but think of advice and wonders if even in this world, there are kind people like her. After delivering her heartfelt speech, Sakura walks away, feeling relieved she got Takaru's contact info. She smiles to herself, thinking how naive and mysterious he is, still puzzled by his phone's odd setup. Meanwhile, Takaru struggles with the phone's features, looking like a confused grandpa trying to figure out an iPad. Just then, the old man appears again, scolding Sakura for using her phone while walking. The next day, as Takaru jogs through the streets, a giant LED display lights up with flashy visuals of a C-rank hunter party called Wing Guard. The residents around him are totally hyped, treating them like local heroes. People start arguing over who's the cutest member of the party. Takaru overhears the chatter, rolls his eyes, and thinks, seriously? Meanwhile, Kazami High School is temporarily shut down due to the gate break, giving Takaru a rare chance to enjoy a peaceful morning jog. He's not entirely sure if he's doing it the right way, but hey, at least he's moving. Back in his previous world, Takaru's mentor would always be right there, silently watching as he trained with a sword. The pressure was intense, having someone that skilled constantly observing, but it pushed him to grow stronger. Just as he drifts into that memory, a sudden commotion snaps him back to reality. A crowd has formed around a black gate, all eyes fixed on its ominous surface. Judging by the tension in the air, everyone's waiting for something major to go down. Takaru knows exactly what that means. Black gates don't open right away, but when they do, powerful monsters start pouring out. And the only way to shut one down is to dive in and take out the boss monster lurking inside. Watching the crowd gather around the gate, Takaru wonders if Sakura will show up to take command of the situation. A part of him can't help but think, what if this gate leads back to the world he once came from? The thought tempts him. Should he just dive in and find out? But before he can act, someone taps him on the shoulder. Showtime, the voice says. He turns, and it's Vanguard, the local hero squad everyone's been hyped about. The group makes their entrance with the usual flair. Shika, ever the calm and collected one, gives a polite nod and apologizes for their leader Mamoru, whose booming voice could probably wake the dead. Uichi sighs, reminding Mamoru to dial it back a bit. Then Matsuri jumps in with a grin. Well, Mamoru's loudness is kind of his charm. The crowd eats it up. It's like watching a red carpet event, if the red carpet had monsters lurking just out of frame. Meanwhile, the crowd goes wild as the local heroes show up for the second time, cheering like it's the finals of a championship match. Mamoru nearly ruptures Takaru's eardrums with his booming declaration to destroy the gate and protect the citizens. Shika, as always, keeps him in check. Quit fooling around, she says, already moving toward the gate with purpose. As they charge into the gate, Takaru, still going by True, finds his thoughts drifting to his old mentor, Grotto, the Kingdom Army General. The weird part? Grotto looks an awful lot like Mamoru. Back during his training days, Takaru could never land a single hit on Grotto. No matter how carefully he watched or how fast he moved, every opening he thought he saw turned out to be a trap. Grotto was always one step ahead, unshakable, precise, and loud. Victory was always his. And every time, Takaru would end up covering his ears, wincing at the general's thunderous voice echoing across the training field. Grotto used to tell Takaru time and time again that he was chosen by God for a reason, that the way he mastered magic so quickly wasn't normal. But even with all that talent, Takaru could never figure out why he still couldn't land a single blow on his mentor. Grotto would just shake his head and explain, any powerful attack comes with an opening. It's not just about strength. It's timing, precision, control. And then, During one of their intense training sessions, something unexpected happened. A demon suddenly appeared out of nowhere and launched a surprise attack. Grotto leaps into battle against the demon, but in a flash, the creature slices off his left arm. Blood sprays and the shock hits Takaru like a wall. He stands frozen, paralyzed by fear. Through gritted teeth, Grotto yells for him to run. But True, shaken, eyes wide, refuses to budge. Then, with pain written all over his face, Grotto admits something he's never said before. His voice cracks as he says, "I couldn't bear to lose you. Not someone I see as my own grandchild." Grotto urges Takaru to run, reminding him it's only been 3 months since he arrived in this world. But Takaru, heart heavy and determined, grabs his sword and swings with all his might. He's already made up his mind. No more being the timid kid he used to be. With fierce resolve, Takaru lunges at the demon, searching for any chance to strike. Finally, he finds his opening and lands the blow that defeats the demon. Afterward, Takaru tells Grotto that he couldn't bear losing someone like him, his only family left in this world. Grotto, with a tired but proud expression, tearfully rates Takaru's swing a perfect 500 billion out of 10, even as blood drips from his wounded arm. It's a powerful, emotional moment. Takaru doesn't even realize he's bleeding too, like a leaky faucet. Fast forward 3 hours, and while Takaru's exercising, his mind drifts to the striking similarities between General Grotto and Mamoru. He shifts his focus to more cardio workouts, aiming to build strength and muscle. He knows Kusunagi's body is different from his own, but he's confident he can make the necessary adjustments to suit his needs. He's just finished his workout when a sudden commotion pulls his attention back to the Black Gate. Mamoru is shouting Chika's name, his voice filled with worry. It turns out Chika sacrificed herself to let the others escape, and now she's in serious danger. Wichi tries to calm Mamoru, reminding him that Chika is agile and should be okay. But Mamoru isn't convinced. He sinks to the ground, apologizing to Chika for being a weak leader. The crowd begins to panic, fearing monsters could pour out of the gate at any second. Takaru, feeling powerless, decides to wait for the rescue team. Yet, as he's lost in thought, he suddenly realizes he's stepped through the gate, without even noticing. Now inside, he has no clue how he got there. But he's certain that if Grotto and Indelweiss were watching, they'd be laughing at how clueless he is. Pulling his hood up to hide his face, he gets to work. Meanwhile, an elf maiden perched on an ogre's shoulder flashes a mischievous grin. She's excited. Another clueless soul has just wandered into her domain. As Takaru races through the forest, a strange sense of familiarity creeps over him. The landscape, the monsters, it all reminds him of his previous world. That uneasy feeling only grows stronger when he stumbles upon Mamu's shattered shield, lying abandoned on the ground. His heart pounding, Takaru kicks into high gear. He bolts through the dense woods, desperate to find Chika. Luckily, he catches up to her just in time. She's struggling to breathe, completely exhausted, with a raging cyclops closing in fast. But Chika's not even focused on escaping. Her mind is still on her friends, and it's costing her. The cyclops finally catches up, slamming Chika to the ground. She hits hard, but before the beast can finish her off, Takaru charges in. With a flash of power, he freezes the cyclops solid, then shatters it in an instant. He rushes to check on Chika. Luckily, aside from a few nasty bruises, she's okay. Takaru exhales, the tension finally lifting from his shoulders. Chika, still trembling from the close call, looks up at him and thanks him sincerely for saving her. Takaru, trying to stay low-key, simply says he's just a passerby. But Chika narrows her eyes. She recognizes him immediately. Turns out, Chika's a scout, sharp-eyed and detail-oriented, so she remembers Takaru by his outfit alone. He's a little impressed by how sharp her memory is but quickly shifts focus, asking about the Cyclops and confirming it was the boss monster of this area. He suggests they move out before her friends start losing their minds looking for her. When Takaru mentions the rest of her team made it out safely, a single tear slips down her cheek, relief washing over her. Meanwhile, the elf maiden, perched on the ogre's shoulder, starts making her move. She's already scanning for a way out. Whatever she's planning, it's just getting started. As Chika watches him, she can't help but wonder, how is he so calm? And more importantly, how did he cast that freezing spell without a staff, scroll, or any kind of magic enhancement? Then there's his outfit. He looks like he just walked out of a convenience store, not a dungeon. Definitely not the kind of guy you'd expect to charge solo into a black gate. Yet here he is, casually walking ahead, completely unaware of how both mysterious, and honestly kind of ridiculous, he appears. She's still lost in thought, piecing it all together. When bam, she walks straight into his back. He doesn't even flinch. Without missing a beat, he grabs Chica's knife and uses it to deflect a magic beam blazing down from above. The clash is intense. He manages to cut through the enemy's spell, but the counterattack narrowly misses its mark. With no time to waste and only one thing on his mind, getting Chica out safely, he scoops her up in a full-on princess carry and bolts like a rocket through the forest. Watching from afar, the elf, perched and observing every move, frowns in disappointment as she realizes they're getting away. For Takaru, the only thing that matters right now is getting them out alive. As they dash through the place, he glances down and apologizes for breaking her knife, promising to buy her a new one, if his allowance ever stretches that far. Though let's be real, it's not looking great. But Chica yells at him, her voice sharp and urgent. She doesn't care about the knife at all. That's not what matters. As they close in on the gate, Takaru, always thinking one step ahead, asks if she has anything on her that could help cover their escape once they're through. Turns out, Chica's got a smokescreen trick ready to go. But just before they make their escape, Takaru looks at her seriously and asks one thing: keep his identity a secret. After all, saving her life, that's the least she can do in return, right? As they make their getaway, the elf maiden, who's been charging up another magic beam, finally lets it loose, but they're already gone. Frustrated and fuming, she throws a mini tantrum, vowing to chase them down. Too bad for her, the gate won't let her pass through. Now she's left sulking in the shadows, stewing in her defeat. Meanwhile, Shikika finally reunites with her team, and off in the distance, True watches quietly, still trying to make sense of everything he just witnessed.